Good afternoon, students. Shillong, Itanagar. How are you? Yes. Back from the break. Children are still doing lunch. I can't see any reply, I guess. Yes, ma'am. Okay, fine. So back from the lunch. Yes, Itanagar, good afternoon. Busy in lunch? Okay, fine. Post lunch session, big struggle. Let's start. Okay. So do we have any doubts? I forgot to send you the papers yesterday. I was not having proper internet at my place, so that was a issue. So I'm really sorry. I will be sending you today. The question I told you from the reproduction objective, we will have it today. Okay, I was not having net connection at my home yesterday. So let us start with the reproductive health part, the next chapter following human reproduction. Before we start, just let me know, do we have any doubts? Yes. Do we have any doubts from that chapter? Let me know, children. Human reproduction, any doubts? No doubts? No study, no confusion. Is it? More study, more confusion. Our teacher used to say this. Okay. So let's start with the next chapter, that is chapter number 4 of your NCERT, reproductive health. So the definition of reproductive health, obviously we need to follow. What is the definition? WHO defines reproductive health as total well-being in all aspects of reproduction. That is when you talk about physical, behavioral, emotional and social. So when all aspects of reproduction, whenever an individual has the physical aspect, the behavioral aspect, the emotional as well as the social aspect of well-being in terms of reproductive health, the person is said to be healthy in terms of reproduction. Okay. Now obviously if it's a health problem, it's a health issue, there must be some problems, there must be some strategies. Sorry. Let's see the reproductive health problems and strategies. What are the problems? First of all, problems and strategies. So the first problems we started to feel when we thought that we are having a huge population. So family planning in India started. It was way back in 1951 and India was among the first country to initiate plans We initiate plans, not to apply plans. India is always good at initiating things, but very bad at sticking. That's the reason we are soon going to become, I guess, the ones with highest population following China. We'll be soon crossing them also. You must be aware about that. So we thought and we made some plans. Okay, we started to make some plans, and yes, Nafi, what is going on? Nafi, she's Nafi, isn't it? Second bench. She's Nafi? Yes? Copy it. So we have what? It was the India who was among the first countries who was initiating the plans. We should be surprised to know that the one-child policy or the two-child policy, all those plans were initiated first by India, and then China started to copy those plans. They started to copy those plans, and they obviously, copying is a good thing if it's a good purpose. They started to copy and they started to implement on their own population, and they soon achieved their population goal. And now one-child plan in China is converted to two-child policy. So that was a very good move by China. They very strictly implemented those plans. That is, if anybody is having more than 2 kids, they were not allowed, or 1 kids, they were not allowed to have any government facilities, government jobs, nothing. In that way, they had a very good population control, and now they have started a two-child plan. Why? Because there is a particular population density that should be maintained in every age group. So that population density was achieved, and now they have removed their one-child policy and started their two-child policy. So first of all, reproductive and child health care program was the main motto. See, this chapter is, these sections are not that very interesting, I would not say, but yes, the ART part, that is the assisted reproductive technologies part, is a bit interesting, and questions do come from those sections. So obviously we can expect questions from these sections also. Since it's in the book, we cannot predict what can come and what cannot. We have to study everything, so don't take it very lightly. So these plans were launched. So this is important, this is quite important when you talk about reproductive and child health care RCH programs. This is quite important. So we have to see the strategies, what were the strategies under this RCH program. So these were the strategies, that is better medical facilities, RCH, reproductive and child health care program, family planning, research in reproductive health care area. The marriageable age was decided by the government that we cannot marry off people who are very young. Then awareness about reproduction. So all these were the parts of the strategies under the RCH program. So these programs where obviously RCH was the measures by government, proper measures by government were taken, and in that measures what we included audio, video and print media, that is by different papers, by magazines, by different kinds of educational views. We started to tell people that what is the disadvantage of huge population. Then there was initiated by government to involve family members and the close relatives. Then we had introduction of sex education, in school. So whatever we are now teaching, we are now studying, these are the parts of sex education in the schools. And there was proper information, because many times people don't have proper information about some of the important aspects of our well-being, that is like reproductive organs, then what is adolescence and related organs, about safe and hygienic sexual practices, and about sexually transmitted diseases, like one of the greatest threat among them is AIDS. So there was a proper initiative by the government to pass proper information about all these aspects of our well-being. Clear? Are we clear up to this? Yes, children. Yes, Itanagar, Shillong. Copied? Are we clear? Yes. Itanagar? Okay, very good. So we will now have a term. Obviously you all must have studied this term in your class 12, but still just let me know what do you know about this term. Okay, you tell me what do you know about this term. People are busy in talking today, I don't know. Must have some good lunch, chana fry and Oreo and all those things. Is it? Yes, tell me what is this, what is a particular, yes, sex, only sex determination, is it? That's a misuse, isn't it? Obviously not misuse exactly, we won't tell, because in Western countries what people do is that they don't allow children with Klinefelter syndrome or Turner syndrome or any kind of genetic disorders or any kind of those disease to occur in their population. So what they do is that they perform sex determination, and in case the child born has the embryo or the fetus has any kind of those disorders, Klinefelters, Turners, they don't allow such pregnancies to proceed. That's the advantage in the Western countries. Yes, it is a good thing sex determination can be done if it is for the genetic disorders, but if it is for knowing the sex of the fetus, like in many parts of India, what people do is that they actually misuse this technique to know the fetus sex, and if it happens to be a girl child, they prefer to perform abortion, or they prefer to perform MTP, medical termination of pregnancy, immediately after that. So this is the very big disadvantage of this technique, and that because of this disadvantage it is banned in our country. It's banned in India, it's not allowed to perform in India. So what is amniocentesis? Let's see. It's a technique excuse me, used to find out chromosomal abnormalities by using amniotic fluid. What is amniotic fluid? The function of amniotic fluid? Yes. What is going on? Shillong? Yes. What is going on? Huh? What is going on? Tell me. Yes. Who is sitting at keyboard? Erne? Who is on the keyboard? Is it Erne? What is going on? Tell me. Okay. Yes, what is going on, Erne? What is Nafi doing? Tell me. First tell me what is Nafi. She's Nafi, isn't it? If I am not bad at recognizing her, I guess she is Nafi. Just pardon me if I am mispronouncing your names. It's quite difficult for us, but just pardon me for that. What is going on, Nafi? What is? It's wrong, I know. I'm pronouncing it wrong, I know. Really sorry for that. She's playing. Okay. Okay, I will call her Delhi and I will play with her now. Okay. Okay, so what is amniocentesis? It is a technique to find out chromosomal abnormalities in the embryo by using amniotic fluid. And there was a very good answer. I did not teach you yesterday, but there is a very good answer. It prevents desiccation of the embryo. Yes, Itanagar, what is the amniotic fluid doing? Apart from one function I came to know from Shillong, that is, it prevents desiccation, isn't it? Yes. What terms protective? Very good. In what terms protection? In what terms protection? Very good, Itanagar. Yes, protects from what? Protects from jerk, isn't it? Any kind of shock. So shocks and jerks are also protected in this particular, by this particular fluid. So amniotic fluid is obviously of a great importance, that prevents the, moreover, whatever I told you yesterday also, whatever food the mother is having, the same food is supplied to the fetus also, and that is via the amniotic fluid. So what fetus does is, it gulps down the amniotic fluid and it can taste whatever the mother is having. So if it likes a certain taste, it starts to prefer those. It's always told that the fetus or the embryo, they prefer more of sweet food. So if they like it, the amniotic fluid is of like sweet nature, they like it. If it's very spicy, they will not like it, I guess. So this amniotic fluid is exactly having the same composition of the all the taste of the food as it was eaten by the mother. So this is amniotic fluid. It prevents the desiccation of the embryo. It prevents it from drying, because it's said that the embryo is always protected by a watery environment. So this amniotic fluid is rich in water, prevents from jerk, shock, and obviously what happens is exactly, so as we change our epithelial tissues every day, isn't it? We have changed our skin layers every day. Same is the condition with the embryo also. So what they do is that they remove their skin layers, and that all falls in the amniotic fluid surrounding them. So we can take a small sample of the amniotic fluid and go for testing. So the testing is basically done for what? The testing should be done for basically knowing the chromosomal abnormalities, any kind of genetic disorders, any kind of abnormalities. But the misuse is what? Let's see the misuse. Obviously, is done in our country. Sad, very sad. Misused to check fetal sex determination. Excuse me. Based on chromosomal pattern. So whatever chromosomal the particular cells are falling off, what we do is that we use those cells, we use those parts for fetal sex determination, and we try to know the sex of the fetus present in the womb of the mother. So it's a very great misuse, big misuse, shouldn't be done in any case. But what to say? I guess Northeast is not having any of these problems. I guess I'm sure, in fact, Northeast is very lucky to not have these kind of mentality, this kind of problems. That's a very good thing I like about Northeast. But yes, there are many parts in our country where obviously good and bad people are always everywhere. So there are some people in many parts of the country who prefer to do these kinds of activities. They prefer to perform after fetal sex determination. They perform female feticide. So this is a very bad practice, shouldn't be done. Yes. Are things clear, Itanagar, Shillong? Is everything clear up till now? Okay, nice. So there is a particular drug, Saheli. This is of great importance because this was one among the first drugs to be used for oral contraceptions. This is oral contraceptive for females. So looked at CDRI Lucknow. Has anyone been to Lucknow? Yes. Where is Lucknow? Where is Lucknow? So how do you determine that a particular society is, okay, very good, a particular society is healthy in terms of reproduction? So reproductive health of society is indicated by, first thing, what should be present over there? The sex related matters, people should be aware about it. Excuse me. Second thing, there should be increased number of medically assisted deliveries. Okay. Third thing should be postnatal care, that is after delivery of the child, the care given to mother and the child is said to be postnatal care, leading to decreased MMR and IMR. Fourth, increased number of couples with small families. Then we have is better detection and care of sexually transmitted disease. So if somebody is found to have STD, they should be or thought to have STD, they should be detected properly and they should be taken care of properly also, because yes, they can spread to others and in fact that is a problem for them also. So overall increased medical facility, that is what is the most important thing that indicates that this society is, yes, reproductively very healthy. Overall increased medical facilities for sex related problems. So these are the particular things which should be thought about if you are thinking that this society is reproductively healthy. Just let me know if you have copied things. Yes. Shillong copied. Itanagar. Priyanka and Nisha, I guess. I have to call them Delhi to play with them. Yes, okay, fine. Very good. Now, there was a population genetist, in fact, not person, he was a great person. He is known to be Malthus. Just remember his name will come in evolution chapter also, when I will be teaching you that. So after this, I guess, what should we start? Evolution or human health and diseases? After this chapter. So what was Malthus' idea? That population grows geometrically. That is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16 in this way. So population will grow geometrically, but resources, I will follow the book sequence and I will start after this evolution. Okay, if you don't insist on human health and diseases. So population grows geometrically, that is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, but the resources they grow arithmetically. Yes, I will proceed chapter wise, that would be easy for everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, since we are following this sequence since long, we will follow this only. So resources, if you think about resources, they will grow in a arithmetic progression, AP, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but population is growing how? It is growing in a geometric fashion, that is GP, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16 in this manner. So this was an idea which was forwarded by Malthus, and yes, we have to agree with this idea. This is very, very true thing. That means our resources do not develop in the same ratio as our population is growing. It's a big problem. That is why what we have to do, we have to control the population explosion. And the best way to control this is to control the birth. I was having a class once upon a time. They were telling that yes, we should go for bomb blasts and all those things to control population. So there was a child who was like, I asked him the best method to control population, what it should be. So he was like, doing bomb blasts and all those things. So we should not have those ideas, yes, but the best idea to control population is what? To control the birth. So birth control is thought to be the most important thing that can be done to control a population. So the reasons, what is the reason behind the population explosion? The whole idea of explosion, why it is said to be explosion? So the basic thing is that there were decline in death rate, the basic reason. So before independence, the medical facilities were not that good, and that caused many of the deaths that should not have been happened. But yes, after independence, the medical facilities were very good, and there was decline in all those fields, areas, including MMR. MMR is maternal mortality rate. That is, while giving birth or parturition, there used to be a huge number of mortalities. And we have is number 3. Decline in IMR, that is infant mortality rate. And one more point I wish to write. Number 4, obviously there were increased number of people in reproducible age. So this was one of the most important reason that gave rise to population explosion. Yes, copy it. Itanagar, are things clear? Things are clear? The reasons? See, go with every point very minutely, precisely, don't underestimate any chapter, because a question is always of 4 marks from any chapter it is. So that becomes a very heavy task for all of us, because in any ways we have to score 4 marks. The question can be from any chapter, it can be an easy chapter, it can be a difficult chapter. So the most appropriate, this was what I was talking about, way to control population is birth control. And this birth control can be done most efficiently by following contraceptive methods. See, contraception means we have two similar kind of terms. There is conception. Conception means conceiving or getting pregnant. And there is another word, contraception. So both of them, they sound very similar, but they are exactly opposite of each other. So if it is getting pregnant, this is preventing pregnancy. Conception and contraception. Clear? So similar kind of words, but yes, they have totally opposite meaning. So keep in mind, if you see in your MCQs questions where they talk about conception, that they mean is conceiving or getting pregnant, but it is, if it is contraception, keep in mind that is basically preventing pregnancy. Okay? Am I clear? Everybody? Itanagar, Shillong, copy it. Very good. Let's see the contraceptive measures or methods now. The first and foremost method is natural methods, and the principle behind this is, or the principle followed in them is avoiding the chances. The word is chances of sperm and ovum. What is the exact word we use for this? Sperm and ovum meeting. Exact word? Very good. Choose the correct sequence. Yes. Question for you. Select the correct sequence in syngamy. So the fusion of male and female gametes over here. This thing is said to be syngamy. This meeting. We did this in the last class yesterday. Now you have to answer this question for correct sequence. Quick. Shouldn't take so long. You're flipping through pages? Not allowed. Either way centers, Shillong, Itanagar. Don't flip through the pages. I have taught you this yesterday. Yes, Itanagar, your answer. Itanagar, please answer. Yes, children at Itanagar, please answer this question. Quick. Shouldn't take this long. Correct sequence was what? First of all, the cytoplasm is going to mix. That was plasmogamy. Then the nuclear material will mix, karyogamy, and finally, yes, very good. Finally, the chromosomes are going to mix. So we have the correct sequence in this option, that is plasmogamy followed by karyogamy followed by amphimixis. Now come back to the main topic. So natural methods, what is the natural method basis? That is principle to avoid the chances of sperm and ovum meeting. So in any case, the sperm and ovum should not be allowed to meet. That's the basic aim of the natural method. So the first subheading under natural method is periodic abstinence. Or rhythm method. Now, we all know that in the menstrual cycle part we have studied that there is ovulation on the 14th day. So what couples do is that they avoid coitus from the day 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle. Why 10 to 17? Because this particular day is, these particular days are the expected range of ovulation, and this is called as what? This is called as fertile period, as it has highest chances of fertilization. So, this particular time period is said to be the fertile period. So, what is to be done? This period has to be avoided under the rhythm method or the periodic abstinence method. The first thing. Now, the second method under natural method happens to be withdrawal or coitus interruptus method. The penis is withdrawn from the vagina just before ejaculation. To avoid insemination, that is release of the semen. Third method, is lactational amenorrhea. This is absence of menstruation. Now, what happens is the ovulation or the normal cycle, menstrual cycle, does not occur during the period of intense lactation. So, intense lactation period is immediately after birth, following parturition. Immediately after giving birth, the ovulation cycle is not that proper. Why? Because there is intense lactation following parturition, and this is an advantage that is so sorry, during this period when mother However, the chances of failure of any of the natural method of contraception is very high. So these are not thought to be the reliable methods, as no medicines or devices are used. This is the biggest drawback. The failure rate is highest, obviously, of all the contraceptive methods, natural contraceptive methods, and the failure rate is very, very high. Why? Because there is no medicine or devices taking this during these things, so they can always be not relied upon. It's the biggest drawback of the natural methods. Okay, do you wish to have a small break, 5 minutes, or we shall continue? Yes, Itanagar Shillong. Wish to have a small 5 minutes break? Okay, let's immediate after 5 minutes. 5 minutes means 5 minutes. We'll resume at 4:35. 2:35 sharp. Shall we start? Yes. Yes, let's resume. So we talked about natural methods and we saw 3 of the natural methods over here. The first was under the natural methods, the first method we discussed was excuse me, periodic abstinence or rhythm method. Then this was the method which was based on preventing coitus during day 13. Why? Because this period is the expected period of ovulation and thought to be the fertile period. And next method we discussed under natural methods was withdrawal or coitus interruptus. And the last method was lactation amenorrhea, that was basically based on concept that immediately after parturition or giving birth there is intense lactation by the female, and during this period the ovulation is prevented. Now why is intense lactation related to prevention of ovulation? Any reason behind this? How are both the things related? As intense lactation is how controlling the ovulation. Both of the processes are very different. Yes. Excuse me. Any reason behind it? Think and let me know in the next class. Now, next is barrier method. So, what is barrier method about? This is basically the ovum and sperm prevented from physical meeting with the help of barriers. Okay, and these barrier methods are available for both males and females. So, the first method under barrier method happens to be using condoms, and again this is available for both males and females. The ones used by females are said to be femidoms, or we have another heading for that. And this is a barrier made up of thin rubber or latex sheath. This avoids entry of semen in female reproductive tract most popular brand. That's obviously from the government side, the first initiative. Nirod for males. It's a male condom. So what is the advantage of condom is not only contraception, but yes, apart from contraception, they have a big advantage. That is, they prevent pregnancy is obviously the first target, but STDs like AIDS also. So it's like one go, two things can be prevented, both conception as well as STD. So I told you earlier also, conception is conceiving or pregnancy. So they prevent both the things, that is, they have both the targets, they prevent pregnancy and they prevent STDs like AIDS also. So they are disposable, the advantage. They are easy to use and it gives privacy to the user. The failure rates are very low. Like in natural methods we saw, the failure rate was quite high. Almost negligible. So these are the first barrier method with a very good effective success rate. Next is diaphragm, cervical caps, and vaults. These are what? These are barriers So these are barriers made up of rubber inserted in female reproductive tract. So similar to the femidom, similar to their construction, the female reproductive tract is covered so as to not allow the semen pass into the tract. So this prevents sperm entry. You people are copying, isn't it? And the advantage is they can be reused as well. Make sure you are reading every point before your exam, because yes, there are statements that do come. There will be many statements and you have to cross check and you have to tell which of the following statements is not correct, incorrect, correct. Those kind of questions are more probable from this chapter. So along with barrier method, What can be otherwise used? Along with barriers, spermicidal creams, spermicidal jellies, spermicidal foams can be used to increase its effectiveness. Yes. Done? Itanagar, Shillong. Did you miss out something? Just let me know in the slide. Have you missed out copying anything? Just let me know. Yes, proceed. Done copying, Itanagar, Shillong. Done, children? The third of the method for contraception. So we have seen two methods. First was natural and second was barrier. And now we are going to see the next, that is intrauterine devices. IUDs. So what are IUDs? We have three different categories, which actually based on the generations, how the discovery was in their different phases. So the first generation is non-medicated, then we have is copper releasing IUDs, then we have is hormone releasing IUDs. Start with non-medicated. The examples of non-medicated IUDs are Lippes loop, the basic criteria on which Lippes loop act is they change the structure of the whole uterus, and thus implantation. We know implantation is taking place in uterus. Last class I taught you that also. So in that case what happens is implantation does not takes place. This is the concept of Lippes loop. Lippes loop, they act on this basic concept, that is change the structure of the uterus and thus preventing the implantation. That's the basic criteria on which Lippes loop acts. Now next is copper releasing IUDs. The examples are, there are many, but obviously we have to study some of them. So if you see these examples, you have to identify CuT, copper T, Cu7, multi-load. So these are examples of copper leasing IODs. Now the basic criteria on copper leasing IODs work is this copper ions. These copper ions, what they do is that they perform phagocytosis. I have taught you what is phagocytosis in blood body fluids and circulation, that is eating up of a cell. So what copper does is they perform phagocytosis of the sperms. So they eat up the sperms. In that way they prevent the fertilization process. First thing, they phagocytose the sperm. Next is copper. They, along with eating up them, they also suppress the sperm motility. We studied this also for a fertile male. What should happen? There should be 40% of the sperms with proper motion, with proper motility, and 60% with proper shape and size. So this in decreased motility, what happens is this, with decreased motility the fertilization capacity also decreases. This decreases the fertilization capacity of the sperm as well. Next is what? Next we have is hormone releasing IODs. The examples are what? The examples are progestasert and LNG20. Now what they do is that they are the hormone releasing IODs and make the uterus unsuitable for implantation. As well as the cervix also does not allow, the cervix is the birth canal, the cervix also becomes hostile, means they are less receptive to sperms. So these are the 3 generations of IODs, in a way that they are known to create the contraception methods in different cases. Okay, clear? Let's see once again all of them in one go. Yes, let's see. The first is IUDs, that is intrauterine devices. We have 3 generations. The first is the non-medicated one. The example is Lippes loop. You have to learn those examples. Okay, you have to learn them. The first example is Lippes loop. What is the basic function? What does they act? They change the structure of the uterus and thus prevent the implantation process. The next generation IUD, they involve copper releasing IUDs. And these copper releasing IODs, what they do is that is examples are copper T and copper 7 and multi-load, and what they do is that they carry on phagocytosis of the sperm, they decrease the sperm motility and thus the fertilization capacity of the sperm is also decreased. Now, next is what we have is the hormone, the third generation hormone releasing IODs. This is what hormone? Which hormone it must be releasing? Yes, hormone releasing IOD releases which hormone? We have done all these things way back, last class, before Diwali, the week before Diwali. Yes, which hormone it must be releasing? Shillong, Itanagar, please answer. Which hormone it must be releasing? So what they do is that they make the uterus unsuitable for implantation. Moreover, the cervix also become hostile to the sperm. So there is less receptive cervix, which does not allow the sperm to enter properly inside in the reproductive tract. So these are three different types of IUDs that are widely used to control birth. So often a question comes in NEET that which of the following, they will write down the names of all the barrier methods and all those things, and they will ask which of them are ideal for female or best used. Next is IUDs. This question also comes. So there are two things, ideal and most widely used. Both of these things are categorized for IUDs. Just highlight them on your notebook also. So they are the most widely used as well as ideal contraceptive for females. Please highlight them on your book as well. Yes, question for you. Who answered from Shillong? Who has answered from Shillong? Very good. Who has answered? What's your name, child? Write your name also, please. Itanagar, your answer is yet to come. Are you people connected? Everyone. Your name is everyone. Okay, that was a combined effort from everyone, I guess. Okay, fine. Very good. Yes, Itanagar, your answer yet to come. Please answer this question. Itanagar children, are we connected? Yes, we are, I guess, because you asked me to give you a break. What is maybe? It maybe means a big negative one. You cannot take chances. See, this has to be progesterone. Why? Because I will tell you. Now, high level of progesterone, we had this concept during the menstrual cycle class also. Yes, it is surely progesterone, because when we have high level of progesterone, what happens is this high level of progesterone gives a negative feedback. To the hypothalamus, and when you have a negative feedback to hypothalamus, what hypothalamus does is it decreases the release of GnRH. Now, if GnRH is decreased, you have a decreased anterior pituitary secretions also. Remember, you have a decreased anterior pituitary secretions also, and obviously if there is a decreased anterior pituitary secretions, there will be decreased LH and FSH on both the edges, isn't it? Both these things will decrease. Now, if the LH is decreased, what LH is going to do? It is not allowing the ovulation, because LH was the most important hormone for ovulation. So, there is no ovulation if LH is less, and if FSH is less, no follicular maturation. So, we won't have any primary follicle turning into secondary, tertiary Graafian, and if ovulation is not there, we don't have any secondary oocyte. So, in this way, the progesterone's high level decreases the release of hormones from hypothalamus as well as anterior pituitary. So, this is a total negative feedback mechanism, and it is an important aspect of the pills, all the kinds of contraceptive methods that are based on hormones. So, we will be studying after this pills. That is why I told you this concept now. I just discussed it with, because we will be having pills section now, and that is again having the same mechanism, but obviously it is orally taken. Copied? Clear? Itanagar, now you are clear with this. It is not maybe, it is surely the option 1. Now, you can have one more option. If I would have given you one more option, that is, let us see, E. If you had one more option, that is progesterone estrogen mixture, this also would have been a correct option. So, it can be either progesterone alone, or it can be a mixture of both the hormones getting released at the same time, that is progesterone and estrogen, because they have again the similar kinds of effects. Okay, let us talk about pills now. It is clear? The idea is clear to everybody, one and all. Let us talk about one more thing before proceeding ahead. One more thing, just let me know. Now, till now what we have studied is that when there is less level of, when the corpus luteum degenerates, what we have studied, that the degeneration of corpus luteum, what is corpus luteum producing? What's corpus luteum source of? Corpus luteum is source of what? Two hormones, high level of progesterone and a smaller levels of estrogen. So degeneration of corpus luteum is what? This is related to a decrease in progesterone and a decrease in progesterone is responsible for what? It is responsible for breakdown of endometrium. And breakdown of endometrium leads to the next menstrual phase of the menstrual cycle. Now answer me this question, why is this corpus luteum degenerating? Got my question? My question is, why does, I am writing Cl for corpus luteum, degenerates? Why does corpus luteum degenerates? This is my question. First option, decrease in progesterone. Second option, decrease in estrogen. Third option, decrease in luteinizing hormone. Fourth option, decrease in FSH. Now, answer me this question quickly. So both of the centers have answered me progesterone. That means I need to discuss this question. Okay. See. Okay, good move, Shirang. Yes, see. Now corpus luteum is a source of progesterone. That is, corpus luteum produces progesterone. Now, what the question being asked over here, that is, why does corpus luteum degenerate? Why it is degenerating? So obviously it cannot be decrease in progesterone. Why? Because progesterone is produced from corpus luteum itself. The question would have been the other way around. That is, why does progesterone decreases? The answer, corpus luteum degeneration, would have been correct. But a decrease in progesterone will not lead to corpus luteum degeneration, because corpus luteum itself produces progesterone. The correct answer for this question would be, obviously estrogen has nothing to do with corpus luteum degeneration again. The correct answer for this would be LH. If you pay attention on the graph given in your book, you will be seeing over there, after the phase of the ovulation, this is the LH surge, the LH levels start to decrease rapidly, and during the time of the corpus luteum degeneration, they show a steep downfall. This was the LH graph. This is the LH graph you will be able to see in your book. Now, this particular LH levels when decreased, what happens is, this decrease in LH, this leads to degeneration of corpus luteum. This is leading to degeneration of what? To the degeneration of corpus luteum. Clear? I will just discuss one more question. I will continue with the chapter in the next class. Just one more question I will discuss. Just let me know if it is clear. Shillong, Itanagar. It's clear? So a decrease in LH is going to do what? It is going to decrease the level of progesterone as well. Shillong, just give me a thumbs up if it's clear. Yes, very good. Now next question is, we have studied that trophoblast and placenta, they release HCG. The function of HCG is, first, Cl is corpus luteum, it maintains corpus luteum, first option. Second, this is endometrium. Cl releases progesterone which maintains endometrium, and the fourth option is all the above. Yes. Question and the options. Trophoblast and placenta releases HCG, and the function of HCG is to maintain corpus luteum first, mimics the LH, and thus helps in maintenance of corpus luteum. Corpus luteum releases progesterone which maintains the endometrium. Just add on over here, HCG maintains corpus luteum which releases, just mention over here, which releases progesterone and which maintains endometrium. So you told me it's B. Itanagar, what is your answer? Shillong is telling it to be B. Yes, Itanagar, what's your answer? Shillong, just think about all these things. Aren't they all related, and aren't they all talking about the same motive, that is, we need to maintain Cl? So what is the basic thing, criteria to maintain Cl? That is LH. And if LH is remaining, what is happening? Cl will remain and release progesterone. And if progesterone is released, what is happening? The endometrium is maintained. So don't you think that all the options are interrelated and all the above things are correct? Just let me know. Yes, it is, because you have to know now that HCG is mimicking LH. It is exactly chemically similar. Just pause for a minute. It is just exactly similar in chemical nature as the LH, and this helps in the stabilization of the corpus luteum. So if corpus luteum is maintained, we have a flow of progesterone during the pregnancy, and thus the endometrium wall is prevented from slogging off during each menstrual phase. So in this way, the pregnancy is maintained by the HCG. This often comes in exam, and the source of HCG are two: number one, trophoblast, and number two, placenta. Trophoblast of the blastocyst and placenta obviously formed after 21 days of fertilization. So I guess we are done with this topic. We'll continue with pills the next class and try to finish the chapter. Okay, fine. Just go back home and get through this chapter and let me know if you have any problem. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a good day. Yes. See you soon. Bye.